Good morning, Caleb. Bam, we're live.
Wow.
Good morning.
Good. Oh, look who's back. JR Howell is in his house. JR, did you see that?
If you're referring to the clinic Pat put on, yes, I saw it.
Mal O'Brien. Where's Tia at? Oh my goodness. Tia is in 8th place.
Oh, bring it up. Don't be selfish, please. Bring up that leaderboard.
61 points back, Tia is.
Bring
Yo,
up
turn that off.
leaderboard. Bring up that What could you possibly have to say that deserves the attention at the beginning of the fucking show?
Sevan, I swear to God, if you didn't play freaking Colton Burton's little choo-choo train that could, you should be fucking off.
Let me tell you something. I even forgot I was playing that game. Oh, he hung up on me. Someone's been drinking. Okay. That's not a good thing. Oh, where's the leaderboard? Are we? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see what Sousa's got for us here real quick before we go. Sousa, what are you looking at here?
These are the athletes taking off for the night. They kind of come through this thoroughway here and everything.
Oh, Will Morad. What's up, baby? Hey, what's the deal with Reykjavik and Emily Rolfe? What can you tell us, Sousa?
Not much. There hasn't really been much that I have information to that you guys probably don't, unfortunately.
We were told that Emily Rolfe was rushed off to have emergency surgery. No idea if that's even remotely true. And we were also told that Reykjavik has pulled out of the competition. Any sign of that? Can we? So I guess we could check the leaderboard, team leaderboard, and see if there's any truth to that. To see if Emily's pulled out, or to see if do they have some they put a P for pulled out?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
In leaderboard. Okay. Mr. Caleb, let's go over and check this sucker out, this leaderboard, please. Oh, okay. We'll start with the teams and see if we can investigate this. Do we see Reykjavik anywhere? Go all the way to the bottom. Go all the way down to 40th. Let's see if they're down there on the bottom. Toluca, TT CrossFit. Okay. Oh, expand. Are there more? It said expand all.
And that's just the actual teams themselves.
Okay.
CrossFit Mayhem.
There they are.
Oh, there they are in 17. Okay. And they only did one event today? Okay. All right, fine. We'll see. I'm sure eventually we're going to hear something. And then let's go over to the women's leaderboard and see if we can see if there's anything going on with Emily Rolfe. Some people think she was pregnant and didn't know and lost the baby because they're asking for privacy. Wow.
What?
I don't know what that has to do with emergency surgery, but that's intense. That is intense. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Rolfe didn't have a vax attack. Anything's possible. Is she Canadian?
Yeah.
She is?
Yeah.
Withdrawn. There's not going to be any info there.
Does it say withdrawn?
Well, she is withdrawn.
Oh, because she didn't do the last 2 workouts. Correct.
I think they made an announcement about it, didn't they?
Let's scroll up to the story headline.
Okay, let's scroll up. Yep, you're right. Thank you, Taylor. When you guys were waiting to sign on, did you guys see our commercial? We uploaded a I don't know if commercial is the right word, but we uploaded a clip, sort of teasing an interview that we're going to do next week with Gary Roberts and Killing a Fat Man season 3 and his testosterone replacement therapy that he's on. Did that get I think it's going to be in front of all of our shows now. I love you too, brother. Yeah.
I can't hear anything, so.
He said he loved you too. Yeah, we're live right now.
Hope you didn't talk shit about me when I skipped the lap.
Oh, we
Only
did.
a little bit.
Oh, we did.
He said only a little bit. Thanks, guys.
Kundo. What a good dude. Hey,
he can laugh at himself.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when you see that attitude right there, that's good, right? That means he's over it. He's making fun of himself.
Yes. Everybody's different, but I like that. I prefer that.
Yeah, it's probably the healthiest way, isn't it?
Yeah, either maybe not the healthiest, but a healthy way. I think either look at it like, well, I was fucking stupid and you move on. Or like for me, always in retrospect, I can laugh at myself, but sometimes in the moment, I'm like, that was fucking stupid. And I'm not ready yet to be like self-deprecating with humor, but I'm also not like crushing myself. I'm just like, man, that was a fucking stupid mistake.
But still ready to fight some guy like Matt Souza's got a camera in your face cracking jokes to you like, fuck you, dude.
No, not like fuck you. Just be like, yeah, it was stupid.
Oh, okay. So anyway, as soon as the game shit's over, I will be having Gary Roberts on. We'll talk. He's been taking testosterone replacement therapy for a couple months. We'll be having him on. We'll talk to him about it. And he started filming Killing the Fat Man season 3, and I think is at a CrossFit gym called Ironside CrossFit. He ballooned back up to 255 pounds.
He said that was Travis Mead's gym. That was the guy who started the 365 hero thing and won the Open last year.
No shit.
Or won,
Okay.
won the Open, right? Yeah, the Open.
So he's gonna whip Gary into shape. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm very, 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 very excited about it. 10,000 fans today. I heard Sean Woodland say showed their wristbands or tickets or whatnot. You have to guess there's another 1,000 volunteer and 1,000 staff there. So what we saw is 12,000 people. That's pretty darn crazy for a 5 or 6 day event. And it's only Wednesday. That guy right there really impressed me today. Not Pat Velner, although that was impressive, but Yanikoski. He looks like he's in it to win it.
I've been very impressed with Yana and Ariel Loewen, both last chance qualifiers.
Oh, really? Both of them?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, crazy. I wonder if I could send Ariel
drop her a link.
Yeah, let me see if she wants to do that while you guys talk about the scoreboard here a little bit.
All right, let's chat it up. So crazy that Tia sits in 8th place and is 61 points back. Now, there are only 300 points on the board so far. And so we can assume there's another 1,000 to go, abouts 1,000 to 1,100. But a 61-point deficit on day one is not good for her, huh?
It's like
no, it's not what we're used to, but I think we need to look and see where she's at before the weekend starts. So after the 200 points up for grabs tomorrow, and then after Friday, let's see where she's at going into Saturday.
But what's interesting is you say, but the key word there that Taylor said was it's not good for her. It's not good for Tia Toomey, but it is good. There's no problem. No one should think that there's any chance of her still not winning the games. Not yet. Correct?
It's early. It's way too early, but I think I'm very interested to see how she responds. I mean, you just could see her demeanor seemed a little bit different today.
I'm in a text there with Mike Halpin, and smart guy, studies the numbers. He didn't give me the answer I wanted, but I'm going to run it by you guys anyway, and I'm going to stick by my guns when I say it here. I think that she actually had a great day, because I think we have a new programmer, and I think all of these things that came up were probably horrible for her. Not only the movements, but the combinations of them, and versus also relative to the competition she had. And so therefore she's mitigated the damage that could be done to her perfectly. And from here on out, it's onward and upward, and she's going to be 100 points ahead of everyone by the time we get to Saturday evening, even before we get to Sunday morning. Thoughts? Full of shit? Just want to keep the dream alive? Or yes?
I disagree. I don't think it's because of the programming. I mean, the events that have come up are not. You could make that argument for event 2 or 3, three. The skill speed medley. You can make that argument, but at the same time, you can't trip on single unders.
Well, and so John Young kind of said something that kind of met us halfway. He's on that thread with Halpin, and I also I'm trying to find what he said. He said something actually really smart. He laid out the 3 things that went sideways with her. Let me see if I can see it. Are you on that thread, Taylor? What?
No.
Okay, he said, damn, what did he say? But basically, he said that bad event, technical error, and a workout missing. So there were 3 things that didn't go her way, but they're all not necessarily. He does have the technical error in there, and then the weather that took out the workout that she might have flourished at. Go ahead,
Yeah.
JR.
Yeah, like I think if you put in the 2A, 2B, the shuttle to overhead, and she's in 8th, I think we can talk about it a lot more. But those 2 scores added so much more to this day. You have essentially what kind of came down to 3 skill limiting workouts. The chest to bar ended up being the separator in that first workout. Tia did great on that. The second one was all skills, especially the ones that maybe no one ever practices, like the single unders and obviously the crossovers. And maybe Tia is one of the few females that could do the press to handstand and finish it easily. I'm sure she is, but she didn't get a chance to do that because it was only top 5. And then the last workout, that was the one, and they showed her a lot, taking really, really big, deep breaths in between the dip traverses.
She looked like she was in a fight, dude.
That looked like that was something that she was like, holy crap, I've never done anything like this before, and I'm super blown up. Like, I don't understand why I'm this blown up. That it was just, and a lot of people got exposed on that movement. A lot of people. I mean, look where Saxon is right now. He's in 30th.
By blown up, you mean triceps, shoulders.
Yeah, or just general shoulder fatigue, tricep fatigue. But look at the ones who struggled on that workout. I mean, for the most part, it was the bigger athletes. And then when you talk about Tia and the one thing that she isn't known as the best in the world at, it's inversion. So we shouldn't be that surprised that the handstand limiting workout for most people was a workout she didn't do great on. It was just not the handstand that was the issue. That's the only thing that's kind of surprising about that.
I have a hard time. I just want to backtrack a little bit. I
Please.
just have such a hard time classifying single under as a skill and classifying a bar dip as a skill. I think in the hierarchy of dips, a ring dip is so much harder.
I agree.
When you put people on the bars, it's like, holy fuck. If you do not know how to kip that, there is a huge issue. How do you fucking do a ring dip in a workout? These athletes aren't doing Elizabeth with ring dip strict. So you just go to a bar and you transfer the kip to the bar. It's that simple, and it just is.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, and I don't even think it was the P bar dip.
The traverse.
It was the traverse, the 150 feet that blew everybody up.
And a lot of people, I think.
Everyone
you watch
struggled with it.
Yeah, you watch, and again, you make a good point in terms of seeing her struggle with inversion. Handstand walking could be a similar issue in struggling with that traverse, just keeping the elbow extended while you're moving through that. You keep your shoulder stacked over the elbow and an extension as you're moving, and you're going to be much less fatigued than if you have a little bit of bend or flexion in there. So maybe that, but I don't know.
Hey, I don't think it's you. I think it's fucking undisputable, 100 to 0 that bar dips are way, 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 way easier than ring dips.
100%.
Yeah.
So it shocked me a little bit. I mean, the traverse is something new for sure, but these athletes walk thousands of feet on their hands every week. 1,000 feet, maybe not thousands, but at least 1,000 feet a week on their hands. Yeah, I mean.
Is that true? Do you think that number is true? 1,000 feet a week would be if you did 20 feet.
2 workouts with 500 feet in it.
Yeah, it's 50 reps at 20 feet a pop.
That's on the higher end probably, but a lot of athletes will be around 1,000 feet a week.
Insane.
JR?
Yeah, I mean, definitely different movement. You know, think about a parallel handstand push-up versus a deficit handstand push-up. Your hand is flat versus your hand being on parallel. So it is a very different stimulus, obviously. And it's one that it was amazing how fluid some people made it look, especially kipping out of the dip. And some people made it look super labored. Like there were P-bars that were shaking back and forth as they were traversing. And then people like Pat and BKGs, and a lot of that's their history with gymnastics, their body was barely moving. I mean, they were saying so hollow. It was crazy.
It blew everyone up, not because it was so difficult, because it was so new to so many athletes. And I think that is what Boz was alluding to when he was saying that coaches and athletes are going to have to reevaluate what they put first in their programming. What's up?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Souza, what's up, brother?
Nothing. They're just kind of pushing everybody kind of out of the event here, and it's kind of clearing out. So I was just checking in with you guys one more time to see if there's anything I should grab or anything that we want to do here.
No, fantastic day today. I love the fact that we're talking and that we can just glance over and get your view of what it's like to be at the venue. It's an important shot in the ambiance and letting us see the guys. It makes us feel like we're there. Thank you. And when you get back to the hotel, if you got a second, we're still on. I'd love for you to come back in so I can pick your brain.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Later. And I have tons of gossip for you afterwards, so don't go to bed even after the show is over.
But anyways, just to say, it's
choose different words for him. I see what this guy's saying. Fix this a little bit because he's right? A+ programming. If it's so easy, why did it blow up? Because one ring dip is really easy. Or if you're a bodybuilder, the ring dipping's fun. But when you throw it into the CrossFit methodology and put a stopwatch on it, and you have some traversing with a day full of workouts, some shit goes sideways.
Well, you think about doing Elizabeth with ring dips, and you handstand walk from the barbell to the rings. Totally different workout, and I think that's probably pretty similar to what they're doing here. I think, again, you go back to why it's blowing people up is because it's something that's so new and they haven't done. It's not necessarily that it's so difficult, but the thing about CrossFit, think of your everyday member. Someone who's doing a class workout a day, and they come in and they do a workout like .com posted that was 4 rounds for time, 1 minute L-sit, 400-meter run. Think of the stimulus that's going to create in someone who does a class workout 3 to 4 times a week. It's going to fucking crush you. And the reason it's going to fucking crush you is because you don't spend time doing that stuff. And that's why variance works, because you do something new. It creates adaptation. It creates a stimulus. And so that's what we're seeing this year at the games. There's a lot of new stuff that these athletes haven't seen, and it's creating a stimulus, and we're watching that in real time. I think it's awesome.
Jeremy Williams, Taylor doesn't need your reminder, but thank you. And thank you for your money. Katie, I'm relying on your wonderful Not Media to know what's going on. Best content. Thank you. I'm relying on these guys to tell me what's going on. And I saw Miss California Hormones. Thank you. Fuck. Wonderful. Holy cow. Victor, are you happy with that answer? I think we agree with you. You're right. CrossFit's just a son of a bitch. Put a stopwatch on it, mix that shit up. And did you see anything today that you didn't think was CrossFit? And by that, I mean, is there stuff that's just that's trained for training that's not for competition?
There's a lot of stuff that's for training. It's not for competition.
Did you see any of that today in any of these movements?
No.
You don't think the jump ropes and variations should be a training thing more than a competition thing?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could argue. That's the only thing I would argue. But again, I think this.
Did we step into the land of gimmicks, like having a hot guy with his shirt off just to get views? Do you think that like we've stepped into the
Khan's a gimmick?
Do you think we've stepped into the land of
gimmicks? I'm just kidding.
It's perfect timing. That was unreal.
Yeah, I know. It's just perfect segue, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were you involved? Were you doing some Metcon just now?
Was I doing a Metcon just now? No, mate. It's I'm just in bed.
I know exactly. I know that Metcon. I'll text you a couple workouts I know you can do from that position.
Mate, I've got the dumbbells besides my bed. I haven't forgotten that part of our extended chat last time we were on the podcast together.
I'm hearing that Reykjavik pulled out of the competition. Is that true?
No, not at all. I don't know where you're hearing that from, but we have not pulled out competition.
Okay,
you might just not
good.
see us on the leaderboard because we're pretty far down there.
No, we saw you on there. How is the day going? How's the team?
Yeah, it's a tough day at the office, mate. Tough day at the office. Obviously, for no other reason than we just like as well. I think I've seen a lot of the stuff around the internet. People being like, "Oh, did something happen? Was there an issue with Lauren's like injury or anything like that?" And it's just frankly, event one started off unreal, and we felt really, really good about that. Still finished in 6th, I think, in that one, which I think every single member of our team put to the best of their ability on that workout, which again, you can only control yourself in a team setting, and that's just is what it is, and that's how it goes. And then, yeah, I think we were all a little blindsided by the second event. We felt amazing. We felt pretty good after the first couple of rounds. And yeah, we've been doing so much work on our burpees and our gymnastics and all that kind of stuff. So we were really fired up to have that event. And, competition happens. People have moments on the competition floor that, and that's just what happened. Like we performed to the ability that we were capable of in that moment and ended up.
How many workouts do you guys do over the week? What's the total that they've told you?
I believe we have 11 scored events.
11. So it's crazy early.
Yeah.
When
it's crazy.
you got
it's crazy early. We had a really poor finish, go back to the quarterfinals on one of the events there. And we then managed to bounce back with a couple of back-to-back wins, which was cool. But at the end of the day, we came in here. The last 6 months of our lives have been put towards coming to the CrossFit Games and showcasing ourselves as professional athletes. And as a part of a team, you can only control certain elements, and that is always makes it challenging. But we had some very good conversation amongst the four of us coming back. We had some conversation. We had some time to ourselves after that last workout. We had some great conversation within the group, and the intent going forward doesn't change. We're not now just like, we bombed out of that one. It's early in the competition, and everything we do moving forward is about showcasing the fuck ton of hard work that we have put in over the last 6 months.
And by that, I guess also you're going to be tested in an area that no one can put a metric to, or that no one saw your work, and that's the work of getting along with each other and being a team. Whatever that word means, a team. That's where you guys are probably going to be really tested, right? Because it's really easy to be a team when you guys are in first place.
Oh, absolutely.
But as you go through struggles, then that piece is tested.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably, I've gone to the CrossFit Games and sucked, and I've gone and I've done reasonably, like I've had good competitions and I've had bad competitions. I think it's probably unfamiliar territory for Annie. I know she's had to withdraw, but I don't know if she's necessarily taken the 30th place as an individual. But it's good. And I think what will allow us to finish this weekend as hard as we want to is that bond that we have developed. It's definitely challenging. It's challenging given all of the craziness that was leading up to, I guess, the start of the week, and like all of the kind of stuff going on behind the scenes, which I'm sure people have heard bits and pieces of, and I'm not going to go into great depth about it because it's in the past, and here we are in a position where we're competing. So our focus is on the next 9 events. I mean, we get to have a bit of fun with some lifting tomorrow. Everyone will get to see Tola do Tola things. So that's always enjoyable for the crowd, and it's enjoyable for the team to get behind.
Just to, for whatever it's worth, I'm just going to tell you the rumors we were spreading on this podcast.
Man, I'm aware. You underestimate how much I keep up with this show. It's my favorite. Something there. I love it. I just see the little things ticking away in the comments. I'm like, should I chime in? I'm like, no, let's let them roll. Let's let them do their thing.
We as you know, we thought that Lauren was hurt. We thought it was her shoulder. We thought that Annie that Katrin was going to replace her. Then a video came out and we saw that it was her shoulder, and that like 6 days before the competition, she still was unable to do a pull-up, but the video didn't say whether she could do a pull-up, but that she was good enough to compete. And then we heard that not only did Reykjavik show up late to check in, but a shitload of teams showed up to check in. So we started wondering what was going on with the communication with the teams. And then bam, there you guys are, looking amazing. The team, you show up to the games, all the noise is put to rest, and you guys go out there in event 1 and fucking handle your business.
Yeah. I mean, look, she got some bloody good sources there, mate. There's a lot of that. There's bits and that are missing, and then there's bits of that are spot on. We also heard this. We didn't report this ever, but we heard that Annie had a mental breakdown when her Bitcoin
when the Bitcoin market dropped by 50%. She had a complete mental breakdown.
And he's heavily invested in Bitcoin.
And was just beating Frederick.
And he does not mind if the Bitcoin market crashes. She's the queen of stories, and she's doing just fine. You should see her somewhere.
She's diversified her portfolio.
Yeah. She's doing absolutely fine. No, look, to go back to that and to, I guess, yeah, you're fairly on the money with it, but I think there was a lot of conversation around what the decision was, and I still believe that we as a collective did make the right decision, and that is for a myriad of reasons. For a myriad of reasons, but mostly just, I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of figure of virtue, but my own moral compass, I believe we made the right choice in sticking with Lauren, who had been there for 6 months. If she was deemed medically clear to compete, and here we are competing.
What's the most people you've seen crying on your team simultaneously? Have you ever looked over at Annie and Lauren and there's a tear coming out of the ducts, and you look over at Tola and he's just fucking blowing snot rockets into an old t-shirt, and you're like, wow, this is intense.
I think we were keeping this is mean. Tola and I were keeping a cry count from semifinals.
You're done.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you, a lot of people at home cry for you, man. A lot of people fucking love you guys to death.
Oh, please don't forget, I'm included in the cry count there. I think Tola.
I'm sure.
In the team. I haven't said cry. It was a very emotionally challenging day. It was interesting because it was all kind of happening, and there was just a point where we still didn't know what was going on, and Tola was like, "What are you doing, man?" And I was like, "I'm just sitting in my room looking out the window." He was like, can I come up too? He just kind of came up, and I was just
I have two windows. Go over to that one, motherfucker. Look out that one.
Yeah, he sat down there, and I looked out the window, and we all went from that. And yeah, it is like sports. Sports is dramatic. Sports is not always ideal situations, and sports doesn't always involve getting the result that you want. I'm doing sports for a while, but at the same time, you have good events, you have bad events, you have good days, you have bad days, you have things that you can control and things that you can't control. I'm a super big believer in taking as much personal responsibility as you can for any situation. And all that's left to do, and we spoke about this with the group just in our last conversation, sort of talking about what can we look forward to. So last night before I went to bed, I made a list of things that I believe that I can take personal responsibility for over this weekend, because there's so much fucking noise, and particularly with all of the stuff that had been going on, there was so much noise around the team leading into the competition. There's been so much noise around it all year, and it would have been very easy to get caught up in that side of things and in looking at the other teams and wondering how they're going to do. But one of my big things is take as much personal responsibility as possible. So off the back of a bad day, I kind of shared with the guys some of the things that I had on that list for myself. And I think that it's been an opportunity for all of us to kind of look at what we can do moving forward to make sure that we show up in the best way possible for each other. But yes.
What's on that list? I can love my team and support them no matter what. That's my
list had 6 things. There's 6 things that I could control over the course of the weekend: attitude, effort, execution, nutrition, recovery, and communication. They were my 6 things. So attitude,
communication seems a little like there's a little bit of wiggle room in there to be fucking negative.
There is. More so being honest with my team about how I feel about a workout, how I feel about my own abilities as an athlete. The last 6 months has been nothing short of life-changing for me. And
awesome. Congrats.
Decided to come in and take that professional approach to this competition, and that's how we're going to continue to finish it out. So those are my 6 things, and those 6 things don't change off the back of today. And fuck man, shit happens at sport. Brush it off.
Hey, thank you for checking in. I just want to let everyone know that if you're a rich man or a semi-attractive woman, Con is at room 837 at the Edgewater. Go ahead and use the secret knock.
Yeah, the secret knock. It's the same.
That's the least I could do to pay you back for coming on.
You're a good man, Sevan. Thanks, guys.
Peace. Love you, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Not as good looking as Con Porter, but equally as talkative and opinionated.
Dude,
Mr.
couple questions for Hiller. Can I ask a question?
Shit.
I wanted to ask Con 4 questions. Anyways.
You're gonna ask
Oh,
me
you
instead?
did? I'm sorry, Taylor. That was fucking stupid. Sorry.
So
See if I do that. There we go.
Do you want me
Hiller-
to call him back? He's
No, you're
probably
good, you're
he's
good.
probably only got one hand on the stick right now.
Yeah, and he's watching. He's got one hand on the stick and he's watching. Okay. Hiller, do you think a bar dip or ring dip is easier?
Well, it depends.
Oh Jesus.
I haven't heard. Have you given your opinion yet on that?
Yeah.
There is no opinion. This is like one of those things that's fact. The sky is
Don't-
blue.
Don't answer. Don't answer.
You have a
Sevan. Let him
penis.
answer.
I mean,
Let him
there's things that
answer.
just are. Okay, fine.
Unbiased.
Did you also say it depends?
No, I
Taylor?
didn't say it. In a context, is a bar dip or a ring dip 1 for 1, which is easier?
1 for 1, equally equal. I would say that a bar dip is easier.
Okay. I compared what they did today to doing Elizabeth with rings. If you had to handstand walk from a barbell to the rings.
Would you say that there was an issue with the isometric possible contractions of? And I like what you said, and I kind of also always looked at the handstand walk as kind of an isometric contraction on the triceps and the shoulders, and
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was fatiguing. And when watching Tia Toomey kind of wait, I felt like that was a large play into it.
That, but it also seemed like a lot of the athletes didn't understand that they could kip a bar dip the same way you can kip a ring dip. And I think a lot of the athletes didn't try to keep their shoulder over their wrist and their elbow extended on the bars.
Isometric means a negative, right?
No,
That's
it
the
means
same thing?
static. Like
Static.
Oh, okay.
So I also just don't think that any of the athletes practice anything isometric like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why
Is D-ball carry? Is it D-ball carry isometric?
A hold is an isometric, but it's
hold,
your
okay.
core.
Correct,
It's not
yeah.
your tricep.
Yeah,
Okay.
farmer's
Okay, sorry,
walk or
Okay.
so you'll see the same thing on the what is it the capital workout, whatever it's
I'm trying to
called.
fix that WOD zombie. Bear with me. I'm trying to fix it.
It would
I'll
be
give him,
like saying
another 30 seconds.
you're gonna do Tabata push-ups, but during the rest you're gonna hold the
Hold
top
the-
of the push-up position.
Yeah.
So this is like
and
bottoms,
entirely
like
more
bottom
challenging.
to bottom air squat. Another good one is you sit in a seated
Or it's like
position.
what the Mormons do. Like they just edge. They do edging, right? Because because you can't do actual do. Is it edging? No.
What is edging?
Soaking. It's soaking. It's called soaking. Is soaking isometric? Do you know that? You know soaking? It's not
Soaking's when
isometric.
you stick your
soaking?
penis in and you don't move it around.
Soaking's what the Mormons do to get around the whole don't have sex
Dude,
thing. I just
can't
wonder if
believe
that's
I didn't know
isometric.
what that was. I'm going to use that a
Soaking.
lot.
I believe I heard it on this podcast, so I knew exactly what
You're
it was.
welcome. Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
right.
isometric, soaking, and static. Now I'm starting to really.
Have you guys talked about the programming at all yet?
Not a ton. What do you think? What do you think about the jump rope variations? Gimmicky or appropriate?
I have each and every one of the males events recorded, and I'm gonna go. I sat there. I got this gimbal thing. I think Susan said did he tell you guys he was using it, and did it help? It was just smooth out the feed.
Nice.
Whatever. I recorded them all. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna check it out. But it looked like there were some people getting away with single unders on the crossover.
On the crossover.
Yeah, and I gotta
Nick
go check
Matthew
that
for
out.
sure wasn't. He was doing doubles.
He was doing doubles. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think what I wanted to ask Khan that, but my initial reaction, we were talking about that just before he jumped on, was were the crossover doubles or the single unders gimmicky? Were they just a training tool or was it a good thing to test? And I think
The issue that I had. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think in one perspective, you could say, yeah, the single under is just a training tool. But there's another perspective, and that is of the unknown and unknowable and testing an athlete's ability to adapt on the floor. And I love both of those movements for that reason, for the single under and the crossover.
Can we go look at
away
Fikowski's Instagram also? Thank you.
from anything else?
What'd you say?
Would Hiller's balls touch? So in a previous show, speaking of programming, Hiller told us that because he wore compression shorts for so many years that his balls lost the ability to hold themselves up and the skin actually got really stretchy because
You remember the most important parts
Yes.
of every conversation.
And
That's
so
why you
Wad
failed that
Zombie wants
LSAT
to know. I'm just
test.
contextualizing this for Wad Zombie. He paid $5. He deserves a little bit of like contextualization of this question. Would Hiller's balls touch the floor during an LSAT if you were underless?
I could
Underwearless?
probably train them to touch the floor.
When I do,
like if I home some weights on there, over time they might be able to touch the floor.
when I do the L sit to press the handstand, my nuts hit the bottom of the parallel and stop me from going up.
They're that wide.
Wow.
Are you
I can
straddling
ride
the
over
parallel?
If you guys go to Brent's IG, I think this is the argument to the crossover. The argument to the crossover is in a perfect world, all 10 athletes can do them and all get to do the press the handstand. But when you eliminate 70 of them, they're going to be guys like this that would have excelled at that movement.
Yep. And that's what I said on the earlier show was I thought the crossover was a great movement. The problem was only 5 out of the 40 women got to do it. And same with the men.
Why did they cut
hurt,
the 5?
JR? Does that hurt?
Yeah, that sucks to
Like,
watch.
are you pissed a little bit? Or are you like, fuck? Like,
No. I mean, I would have loved to see all of the top 5 attempt the L-sit to handstand traverse. And I would have also liked to see the other 3 men, because it looked like Guy and Nick Matthew were the only ones that got to do it.
how close did Fikowski get? If they would have taken 10, would we have seen Fikowski? Do we know?
I don't know.
Okay.
But something I would love to ask Adrian is, when he decided on that movement, was there any talk of doing single under, double under, triple under? And if so, why was triple under X'd out and crossover decided upon? Because they showed him when Nick Matthew was finishing up and it was pretty clear he was going to get to do the L-sit press to handstand. Boz was pumped. He was like so happy to see him get there.
The only thing I could think of, and to me this is evident when you're watching Brent do the crossovers or you're watching Nick Matthew do them, is when you're doing them correctly, they're so fucking easy to judge. It's cross, pass under the feet, uncross, pass under the feet. And then you watch someone like Danielle Brandon doing them, and she's doing 3 double unders into like half a cross and then fucking around, and that's hard to judge. I would think that they're probably watching an athlete like Brent do the crossover double under and are thinking that's a little bit easier to judge than a triple under.
My youngest son, he's the last born twin. His name is Ari Sevan Matosian. My wife just sent me a text. He's watching the show, and he said, "I bet you JR has a lot of girlfriends. He's really handsome."
Damn.
Fucking 5-year-old.
Just one, Ari. Just one, buddy.
Just one. Those days are over. Just one.
It's a nice mic you got though, JR.
That's It's a little bit conspicuous for me, but
I like how you lean over and your deep voice is just so clear.
Jose de la Torre. I don't think you can do 3 capital letters like that. You gotta like drop the L or the T, dude. You could be Mike de la Torre. You can't be fucking that up, cheater.
Would you say it's accuracy?
Adaptation is not one of the 10 components of fitness, Mr. Self.
I didn't say adaptation was,
Yeah,
but accuracy, agility, coordination.
Why does it consistently get tested at the games then, JR? I'm not hating. I'm learning. I am a humble Mexican. Amazing.
Everybody has that friend that can go onto a field and catch a ball, throw a ball, and they do it really well. Or maybe Sevan's throwing a Frisbee at somebody and he's claiming to be able to do it better than Brian Friend. And maybe he was born with that ability. He's a very coordinated individual. Maybe. Coordination is something you can either work with or it's something that you're born with and better than others. But either way, the skill of what looks like that double under with the crossover is a coordination test, in my opinion.
And accuracy and agility.
And accurate.
Yeah, I think all of them. I think all of them. It tests skills in the 10 general skills for sure. And adaptation is tested at the games because the unknown and unknowable is core to what CrossFit stands for. And that's how you test the unknown and unknowable, is the test of something that athletes have to adapt to. It's something that's unknown and unknowable. So that's why they're going to test it.
When you see someone like Ariel Loewen, she took first place on that, right?
She did.
She took first place.
She took first place on Elizabeth elevated.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
When you see that, and you also see that she came in through the last chance qualifier, does that give you any red flags about the programming? Or these people are also good at this level? No. And do you know what I mean by that?
It gives
me programming thus far is entirely different. Would you guys agree? Have you thought about that yet? How it's so different than the semifinal workouts were?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I think Sevan, can you ask your question again? You used a phrase and it just blanked in my head.
Red flag. So here's Ariel Loewen just fucking demolishing the pack, taking names, and yet she came into the last chance qualifier. Shouldn't she be like hanging around 15th if this was programmed well, or no?
No, I think the games is programmed fantastic. I think you go back to 100%. The red flag of semifinal programming where all of them are fucking different. And the only 2 tests that are consistent across the field are the CrossFit program tests. And then you look at everything else. And half the events, it's like, what the fuck is this doing here? And why is it there? And where is this? And so I think what this says more than anything is half the semifinals may have missed the mark with their own programming.
But wasn't that kind of his name? Dark Lord Revon? Like,
that's you.
What about Light Lord? What about
twin.
Can't you be the Lord of Light?
You're dark.
What's going on?
That's you, Sevan. You're the Light Lord Revon. Revon.
Thank you for the $10, Satan. Danielle Brandon, tremendous pacing in the parallel workout, right? That's fitness IQ that we witnessed.
JR.
Great pacing and what?
Great pacing, fitness IQ, meaning she creeped her way back in.
Yeah, it didn't look like she ever reached, and it looked like she let some people come out a little bit hot, and then she kind of caught him in the end.
If that workout stops you, you're done. It's gonna if you get stopped at like 6 minutes, it's then 4 minutes of fucking absolute misery, right?
I think Chase mentioned it also on the live stream that when he spoke to Boz about Elizabeth, one of the things we talked about in the last chance qualifier is that using time caps as a way to get the athletes to do things they normally wouldn't do and take risks they normally wouldn't take, just because you see an aggressive time cap and it makes you think that you have to finish under it. And he was saying that if you were not aggressive on the squat cleans, you wouldn't have time to do the dips.
Yep.
So if you tried to baby the cleans, it just wasn't going to work. You weren't going to get a good score. The only way you could get a good score is if you did push the limits of your capacity. And the cool thing about the P-bars was every set, so each round had 3 sets of dips. It's just 3 opportunities to rest. So you're given 15 opportunities to rest 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
The implications that's a psychological piece too. Like,
For
don't.
Sure.
Hey, we all know people who you could go into the gym, you could hang a 10-pound plate from them, and they could do 30 ring dips. Then the next set they can do 5, and then they can only do 1 every 40 seconds. And that really puts that into perspective about that rest. I mean, you could sit there and wait, and 4 minutes could go by. I mean, your average CrossFitter, easy.
It definitely looked like one of those time warp movements for sure.
When you guys watch that, do you guys start to try to imagine what they must be feeling in their arms? That does, like when you're watching Colton Mertens, you're like, man, I just know he does not want to jump back up there again.
I didn't get that about Colton at all.
Yeah, I thought Colton was moving through that.
He was speeding up each and every round, it looked like to me.
But I know what you're asking, and I know exactly what that feels like.
Correct. Yes.
Or you're like, hey, how do they even know they're locking out at the top now? You know, your arm gets so fucking blown up from doing ring dips or bar dips that all of a sudden it's like,
because of the top, you feel you're resting in your joint and not your musculature. Right. You're all joint at the top.
For those of you who can lock out your elbows, yeah.
I would like to point out 2 of the referees we saw there today. They were judging Colton Mertens. It is Lisa Ray and Joe DeGain. I would argue that those 2 people, there are not 2 better referees, and they're not even judges by trade. They're fucking trainers. But I would bet there's not 2 better judges in all of sports and in their entirety. Maybe equal.
Joe was the flow master at my level 2, and Lisa Ray was the flow master at my level 1.
And crazy impressive, right? These are stern, friendly, loving, dedicated, meticulous, seasoned human beings. They've been around as long as I have. When I saw that, I'm like, holy shit! Like the judging is insane. Any thoughts on the judging that you've seen so far, Hiller? I know you've been too busy signing autographs, boobs, and kissing babies.
Jesus, I've only signed 1 boob, and there was a baby I met. It was a nice baby. The judges, no issues whatsoever thus far.
Awesome.
And I felt like I was going to have that happening. With the exception of course, the bike dilemma in event 1 and a couple of the single under, double under crossover that I got to check out. I had a feeling that as the season progressed, the judging would be getting better and better, and that would have to do with the vetting process for those taken at the level of the CrossFit Games and the athletes competing.
A fantastic photographer that's been around forever, Richard. Got this shot.
Friend?
Yeah, I got this shot that makes this is the first time I've actually thought I might want to be at the CrossFit Games. I would love to look into Colton Merton's eyes like Brian is there. That is an awesome, awesome photo. Thank you, Giddy Up. That's awesome. Look at those bangs. It's like that's how those inspired the Monster Energy drink logo. I always thought that was a claw.
Where did Danny Spiegel finish on this event?
She finished pretty well.
I know she was finishing well, but this should have been one that I thought if she was going to do well, she would have, top 5. All right. Should have done better. What's your
She
deal,
should have done
Spiegel?
better? Is that what she should have done better?
This is like the type of thing she'd do well in. Whole bunch of squat cleans and then some basically handstand walks, like Taylor was saying.
Man, okay. How did Alex Gazan do in that workout?
Go ahead and find out. She was in the first heat, no?
Emma Lawson.
And it wasn't anything crazy, so it couldn't have been too awesome.
She was 23rd.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, she's in 32nd right now. Yeah.
So it didn't translate. So it didn't translate the bench press to the ring dips. All right.
Everything.
You shouldn't watch any. You should just watch the podcast. That's all you should do. This is a name we didn't hear much of, but she did do well today. Mike Halpin says Emma McQuaid put the pedal down and beat Danny on that workout.
That's what I noticed too. I think Danny Spiegel should have done better on that one.
Hiller, were you? Well, yeah, it's because you picked her. Hiller, were you in the stadium? I heard it was just crazy loud, like painfully loud.
It was, yes. The announcing in particular.
Oh,
holy
not the crowd.
shit! No, not the crowd. I mean, the crowd was loud, yeah, but the announcer was piercing.
So they're trying to hype it up.
Susan was sitting right next to me, and I could barely hear him.
Okay, maybe I'll make a note. I apologize as the CrossFit media director. I apologize. I will have them lower the volume in there tomorrow. Car Saunders, is she in it to win it? She looks almost too happy.
She's 2 points behind Tia.
Can we see the leaderboard? Are we disappointed in her? Are we proud of her? Are we like, oh shit, the best is yet to come of her?
No, I think it's something similar that happened to Tia. It was a big whiff in that third event. Who knows whether
what happened there? Can you guys clarify? I believe I missed
Tia?
that.
You mean second event?
Yes.
So
the double under event.
Yeah. So Tia missed. She was
Single
late into her set of singles and she tripped.
One time?
Yeah, she was way late. Like she was like 60. She was over 50 reps into her set and she tripped.
I had a whole bunch of people saying that they were upset that an error in the programming was keeping Tia out of the lead, and I was kind of getting pissed.
Yeah. Oh my.
Like, an error in the programming, like shut the fuck up. Do single unders.
Yeah.
idiot.
If I see that in the comments one more time, I'm gonna have a fucking hemorrhoid.
Oh
JR,
my
do
God.
you agree with them? Do you agree with them?
Yeah. No, I agree with Hiller.
No, I want to ask JR what he thinks. JR, was it really necessary to make everything have to be unbroken?
No, that's fine. Yes. Sorry, JR.
In that workout, what you saw too was people struggling on their double unders doing the set of 50 unbroken because their brain was saying do single unders. And I think that's the whole point.
They're so bad at single unders.
And here's
They're
the thing.
bad.
Yeah, if you're gonna make the athletes do 3 cleans, 2 front squats, and 1 jerk unbroken, you can make them do fucking 75 single unders unbroken.
But it wasn't just the single unders.
It was 50,
it was the
wasn't it?
single unders. It was the pistols. It was
Rolf got the hemorrhoid. Holy shit!
It was the handstand. It all had to be done unbroken.
What is this?
That's not how you spell it. SWAT 486. I might not know what a hamburger's from, but I can spell hemorrhoid.
Did you see BKG? I didn't see any other athlete do this in the when he was transitioning, moving the bar during Elizabeth extended or whatever that was called. He carried the bar in the front rack position and then went forward and continued.
Move.
Yeah, that is savage, right?
Yeah.
Is that planned, or is that just he's in the moment?
I think that's in the moment. He's feeling himself, and he's like, "Fuck that! I'm not putting it down."
Yeah.
I don't think he's planning that.
You're sure him and it was Yami didn't think about that before? Like they have an idea, like a visualization of exactly how the workout's going to go?
Maybe. I visualize for sure. But then at the same time, when you get punched in the mouth, the plan changes. I just think sometimes you're feeling yourself in a workout and you're like, fuck it, I can go way harder. But I don't know. Maybe he'd plan that.
I've seen you do that in Wildapalooza with that freaking pig flipper thing. You were feeling yourself. I've seen Taylor feeling himself in person.
What about Velner feeling himself today?
Dude, can I make a comment on it?
Please.
I thought that was sick. The only thing I just want to shit on him for is when he finished, he did the little gymnastics like thing, and I was like, that's kind of good. All right. Anyways.
Other than that, I always get concerned when someone celebrates before they get to the finish line. I think no matter what, it's a horrible practice. And before he stepped onto the stage, he did a little bit of the celebrating. He looked around. He asked the crowd to cheer for him 3 or 4 times. I do not like it when people ask the crowd to cheer for them. But he's such a senior guy that when he does it, I feel like he's doing it to give back to the crowd as opposed to asking. Like he didn't need the crowd to hype him up. I feel like he was just acknowledging the crowd. So I give him a huge humble pass on that. But the part I really liked was when the interviewer asked him at the end, hey, why are you feeling yourself? And he said, because I've been told I don't have a good celebration and I wanted to practice and I was far enough ahead where I thought I would take a moment to enjoy myself.
Still don't have a good celebration, but you did practice.
Yeah. And I just like that that takes a lot of mental, I don't know what the word is. Mental fornication.
That's not the right word.
Mental fornicating.
Fortitude.
Yes. He was really mentally fornicating when he was able to bring that's not easy. He's talking to the whole stadium. I mean, it's focus. It's awareness. I just liked it. I want to give him a
no, I thought it was cool. That was fucking awesome watching him do that. And he crushed everyone and knew it.
Chase was kept. I didn't see anyone dogging on the workout and using ring dips or traversing the parallel bars, but he kept almost like being maybe borderline defensive by saying this has been around forever. This has been around for 10 years. This has been around. This is a Glassman thing, and I liked it that he was helping educate the people. And we actually heard in between the shows, those of you who left your TV on, they left their mics on. So you could hear Sean and Chase talk for like a minute on the live mics. And I think Sean was telling Chase at that point, hey, I remember when 10 years ago when Rich and Jason had this competition. And I remember too, it was like some sort of man challenge. But where was I going with this? At that point, Chase said, yeah, you can go back and look in the journal. And at that point, you know that this is a fucking cult. The journal is the finest piece of article that the fucking CrossFit owns. It's where the entire L1 comes out of, and it's still fucking hidden. It's been hidden since 2018. It's 10,000 public pieces of publications, videos, all of Greg's writings. It's called the CrossFit Journal. When you're an OG like Chase, you just say it's from the journal. I wonder how many people who work at CrossFit Inc. right now have read all of Greg Glassman's articles that are the basic premise of this book. Do you think the people who bought this company for $200 million, $400 million, whatever they paid, do you think they read what they actually bought? They didn't. That's why they don't. No, they didn't. That's why they don't know what they bought. They never read the fucking 30 articles that say what they bought. They didn't buy. I mean, and I'm guilty too. I buy a fucking car from the Toyota dealership and I never read the manual, but I know it's a car. But these people got confused. And anyway, when he said that today, I was like, yeah, this guy's a great fucking commentator. He knows how to speak to the audience and dumb shit down for the new people, but he also slips in gems like that for those of us who are in the cult. And we don't even notice it because we think, of course, everyone knows the journal. Nah, I guarantee you fucking 80% of the people watching that slip right by their ass. So I just wanted to say that. Look at, he says it in the fucking past tense. I loved the journals. R.I.P.
I missed the Journal article where they bring up the fact that they were trying to buy the Harley Davidsons versus the Hells Angels.
Yes.
We don't care, Kat. We do not care.
Did we talk about how high percentage of athletes cap both workouts tonight? Do we care? Why don't we care? Thank you,
Egos
Cap.
are bruised, and the sport needs to evolve. And this is the way to do it. Heavier weights and faster runs aren't doing it anymore.
Do you think we did a good job at trying to find the fittest, JR? Tonight, so far, so good?
Yes.
Do you think the crowd was happy?
Yeah. I think all three were fun to watch in their own way. And
I agree.
that's something that Adrian also said he was really conscious of, that he really wanted to be a spectacle for the fans.
I do think, though, that Nick Matthews saved the day. I really do.
He did. Oh, he fucking saved the day, and that was sick. That's Hiller's boy.
Is
Nick
it?
Matthews, the man. Yeah, I've competed with him. He's the man.
He's
He's
quit
always
wearing
been
that shirt is ridiculous.
the crop top. That's what I was about to say. He's always been wearing that crop top. It's always been his thing. Come on. My Nick Matthews story is they switched the Wadapalooza schedule, and he just like missed the event because they switched up on him. I'm like, hey, dude, where are you? He was getting coffee. He's like, well, it looks like I'm not going to finish the event. and now he's the only one finishing the freaking workout.
Tomorrow was supposed to be a rest day. Do any of the athletes give a shit? Like, are they all like, yeah, let's party. We came here to party. Let's do it.
That jerk workout is going to be so much harder after tonight.
Hell yeah.
Which is good. Bucket. Because
And if you thought a lot of people got capped tonight, imagine if they would have done that workout after the shuttle.
Yeah. So that's
you guys bring the workout up and let's do a quick review of it. This is the 2A, 2B one, right? This is the one with all the running and okay.
You know what I thought was nuts? Those barbells are just sitting out there loaded, full of water.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm looking at like, what the fuck?
Fuck it. They're Cerakote, baby.
Wait, what do you mean? So
that's just crazy.
The 300-pound loaded barbells. I mean, the 200 for the females are just sitting out on the field soaking away.
Not even covered?
So they've been out there since they
Wow.
thought the event was going to happen?
Wow.
I mean, we were out there. Susan and I were walking by, with the media people, and like these are all the barbells they're going to use for this event. There's no tarp; they're just sitting out there soaked.
But what do you mean by they're soaked? They're wet. Okay,
covered
but they
in
won't be
water
rusted
from the rain.
They won't be rusted by tomorrow. They're only going to be rusted for the people who buy them used.
You
from
don't know what
Rogue
he
in a
means
year.
by soaked?
He would have no idea what that actually means. But yeah, the people who are buying them off Rogue, like they do when they buy the games gear, and like, these are nice plates. Like, Susan, we should take one of these and run with the 25-pound plate. But it's already wet, so why would you want it? It's ruined.
But they won't know it. They'll dry it off. Okay, and the jerk boxes are out there and they're covered.
No, they aren't.
Nothing's covered. He's
they-
saying everything is soaked.
Okay,
But they'll dry them off by tomorrow. But
they're not even
We're
really
letting
jerk
anyone know.
boxes. They're jerk stands. They're the steel ones, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Do we know what time that workout starts?
I was going to ask you guys that question.
Okay. And JR said something. JR, did we ever find out if JR said something? No, he didn't. JR, did we find out if there's a minimum work requirement? Were they briefed on this and then it didn't happen?
I don't know if they were actually briefed before it was rescheduled.
2 p.m. The comments say. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kat.
Kat, you're good. Kat Shear from the Clydesdale podcast. So 2 p.m. That's 12 p.m. for me. Okay, and that's the only thing that they do tomorrow.
Yes.
Graham is saying 3:45 Eastern time. I'm gonna go with Kat. Sorry, Graham. After opening
Tia's
ceremony.
If Tia goes 7th on that, are you starting to worry about her?
I think Tia will smash that workout.
Yeah, I do
that's
too.
got
I'm
her-
just
that's
saying.
got her
I'm just
name
talking
all
shit.
over it, yeah. That would
she'll
worry
smash
me.
it.
If she's not top 5 in that event, I'll be worried. I'll have a little,
Okay, so Graham's going off the CrossFit Games app. Kat, what do you got?
No, but he was saying that time was the opening ceremony.
No, he said the opening ceremony is at 2:45.
Central, 3:45 Eastern.
Finally, I've been waiting for you, Jesse. Jesse Mosqueda. Shout out to Boz for the programming, knowing he would get tons of backlash, and shout out to the team here for anticipating and appreciating it while offering some critical perspective.
Well, I think JR probably initially brought out the press to handstand idea, so it's pretty cool that he was pretty spot on with that.
Jesse Most Squeda, most appreciative of the $50. A lot of these cheap fuckers just give me $49.99. I appreciate it. Going the whole way, taking the whole ride.
There were athletes out there that I'm sure were upset about like the press to handstand being discussed and whatever loss of advantage they were at, because now other people knew that might come up, and only 3 got there in the workout.
How haven't y'all talked to Ricky? I talk to him all the time. He just doesn't talk back. What are you talking about?
Wow, yeah, he's crushing it too.
Yeah, I don't even know how to get in touch with Ricky. I wonder if Sousa can do that.
What's it going to be like when he ends up winning the games?
You have to get vaccinated.
And Ricky, he is vaccinated. Can you, unless they shot it on the floor, can you send Ricky a link? I mean, that's the only way to get into this country.
I bet they did. Knowing him.
They looked at Ricky and they went to put it into his alligator skin, and it just fucking broke the needle.
The doctor looked at him and was like, I'll just give it to myself.
I asked Nick, I would love to, but my coach says, however, during the day is pretty strict on my time for socializing. Understood, buddy. Understood. Your loss, you would have put on 20 more followers. I'm texting with Nick Matthews.
Are you talking?
No. I sent Nick Matthew a text, but don't ever do this. People read your text out loud on the internet. It's an asshole thing to do. I said, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. He said, I'd love to. My coach, however, during the day is pretty strict on my time. And I said, understood. You're lost. You would have put on 20 more followers. fair, right?
He's in 8th place overall after day 1.
He's a stud.
Long weekend, but that's not a bad place to be. No kidding.
He's a stud. What do I say? I should send a little heart. What if he doesn't have a sense of humor?
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking last year, didn't they finish day 1 with the wall walk thruster event, the 185 thrusters for the males?
Yeah.
And that, to me, thought like Dave is trying to do something that was like the most basic part of the sport. And today we're sitting there watching him do the double crossover a legless pegboard. Like they're trying to evolve the shit out of it, and it was just very different.
I do think we'll see that kind of back to basic as the weekend goes on. But I think today was kind of like a wake up call, and I think Boz wanted it to be.
Can we pull that workout back up, the one we're doing tomorrow? I think we should come on beforehand. I think there'll be more news. Okay, so that's the workout. And then do we know when more workouts will be announced also? Sorry, Caleb, or Will, whoever's doing it, I'm dragging you all over the place. Can we find out what there was a schedule somewhere that announced the time for when workouts will be announced? I'm trying to figure out when we can come back on tomorrow. Does anyone have any questions? I'll let one of you knuckleheads call in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that schedule, it says that the Friday workouts won't be announced until Friday because they already have the Capital, which is the first one for Friday. So the other ones won't come out until Friday.
Okay. And then can we pull up the Capital workout? That's the really bad one, right? That's the one that I think someone asked Adrian, what's the worst workout? What's the most impactful workout? That's okay. Taylor asked Adrian when he's on the show, what do you think's the workout that's going to leave the biggest mark on them? And Adrian said that Capital one. Mr. Kenny, you're on the air. Ask JR anything you want. He only has one girlfriend.
Mr. Howe. Had to turn the TV down real quick, but want to ask you guys, so for the crossover double unders, would it have been better to showcase the L-sit to handstand and have that be the showcase of the event and like extend the final round time cap and do like make them do 100 double unders unbroken and lead into the L-sit handstand walk?
Or how about, hey, I like what you're saying. Or how about just go straight to that parallel to the handstand. They walk that out, and then whatever time you have remaining, you do as many crossovers as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And also because that crossover double under, which is kind of, and Pakowski was saying it was his parlor trick. If that was implemented in the middle of the weekend and like some long chipper.
I like the idea of no time cap for the final 5. I mean, why do you need a time cap with 5 people left?
Another great solution.
Or maybe not no time cap, but a long one.
Look at us all solving problems.
Yeah,
Why not
Adrian.
throw 3 new
fucking
movements
you
into
up
the
right
exact
now.
same workout, and then you're probably going to miss one for most of them.
JR, what's that big brain of yours think? Those are a couple good ideas. Change the order of them or of those so that we can.
No, that would absolutely drive me nuts if you had pegboard, jump rope, pistol, handstand, and then for the last round you switch the order. No, that would be awful.
Well, you can switch the order for all of them. What about that?
I think that they were purposefully placed. Like, if you can't do the pegboard well, you don't get to do the next thing. And if you're terrible at the next thing, then you don't get to show your balance on the pistols. And if you're not fast enough at that, then you don't get to show everyone that you're good at handstand walk. I think there was a reason for the order. And I think the way it was progressed, it made sense to have the hardest skill at the end. But this could also just be hey, those of you that didn't get to be embarrassed because you can't do it anyway, this is a wake-up call for you to make sure that you can do it next year.
Look, Mr. Kenny, if she won't go out to dinner with you, she ain't going to kiss you. If she ain't going to kiss you, she ain't going to, well, you know where it goes from there. It just keeps escalating.
I also think you're not going to, and I think Boz is really well aware of this, is that you can't please everybody.
Absolutely.
Piss everybody off.
Look at we're crazy critical about the programming. The second you call with one idea, we're like, get all defensive for Boz. Like, fuck you.
We're not that critical. I don't think we're
get back.
that critical.
Get back, Mr. Kenny.
Well, it depends on if it's shitty or not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it does.
Shitty,
Depends
we're
on
critical.
if it is shitty. But I don't think it's been shitty at all. But I also think it's really easy after an event happens to look and say, oh, that could have been better. Anyone can fucking do that. Boz's whole team is doing that right now.
All day long, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I love the programming.
Mr. Kenny, thanks for calling, brother.
Thanks, sir.
When they do that workout that Beaver's about to show us, at 3, 2, 1, go, is it really going to matter? Are the champions going to care? Is Justin Medeiros really going to feel any of the stuff that he's been done? This is Friday's workout at the Capitol, 20 pig flips at 510 pounds, 3.5 mile run, 200 meter carry with 100-pound bags in each hand, and then walk up a flight of stairs with a 200-pound Husafel bag.
What you have to understand is every workout they're doing over the course of this weekend is at an intensity that is so hard to match in day-to-day training. This is the event you've been training your entire year for. You've got hundreds, thousands of people cheering you on, screaming you on. You are blowing your fucking load every workout. So yeah, they're all going to hurt, and you're going to feel every single one of them. It doesn't matter if you're 12 years old or 35.
To put that in perspective for people, and I know 99% of you know that, but the one day a week when you do work out and actually do give it 100% and you're so fucking sore the next day you can't get out of bed, they're doing that 3 times a day for 5 days is what you're saying, Taylor.
Yeah.
And even on another level.
It's nuts.
We were talking about, has there ever been a CrossFit Games where someone hasn't pulled out, and we've already got it, right? We already got one. Day one.
I don't think there has been.
Crazy.
I mean, it's like a football game. You're gonna have injuries. It's any sport.
And no rest day. Although it might be better. Is there an argument, Hiller, for why it's good that there's no rest day? Is there an argument like, hey, it's better just to keep the body moving? In this
I don't know why they had one in the first place.
Oh, when Dave had originally announced the games, he said it was going to be 4 days straight. Then about 2 weeks after he was fired, there was a post somewhere that says they're putting in a rest day, which I thought I was like, wow, they're not messing around. They're getting right at it.
I think in the context of why there's no rest day now, it's the right thing to do. I like this workout way better as jerks than lighten the load and make it strict press.
The press thing would have been terrible.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't try to do that in the rain. That would have been dumb. So I think what they did was the right thing to do. And Yeah, you make athletes work for cumulative 7 minutes on a rest day, they'll be fine.
Any more workouts on Friday after the one at the Capitol?
3 more or 2 more.
And those are the ones that haven't been announced.
Yeah.
JR, would you like to take a stab at guessing what those could possibly be? Can you pull up the schedule for Friday so JR could see the time domains? I wonder if Fikowski, what was that? Packed
no one's going to be able to
so
guess what they did today.
Do you think? Dumb question. Never mind.
No, let's hear. Maybe I can answer it if it's dumb.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to ask it. It was actually stupid.
All right, so Taylor brought to my attention that the age group workouts have all been announced, and they have a 1 rep max weighted pull up, and I think that's going to carry over.
Is it chest to bar?
That's something that we talked about too, like the return of the skills.
And I see it. It's on Saturday. It's that 1 hour window.
And it would play into JR was talking about how they hyped that video up for the Saturday max lift and made it so over the top. And he thought that was kind of an allusion to it ain't going to be what you think it is or what you necessarily want, but it is going to be a max lift.
And do you see, is that what you see Saturday at 2 p.m.? Is that what you're looking at?
No, I don't think that's going to be the thing that cuts everyone. I do think they'll work that in. I think the age groups have it as almost like a skills test. I think they have like a 5-minute max calorie bike erg, a 1 rep max front squat, and a 1 rep max weighted pull up. So very similar to the skills feel of 2011.
And we might.
You can't even look at Friday, by the way they took these fucking pictures. I noticed this too. You can't fucking see Friday. Sorry, Caleb. I know you're trying to fix that. It's fucking nuts. Drives me bonkers.
And we might see 3 separate scores in that window. It might not be just a weighted max strict pull up. They might have 2 other variations to it or 2 other scores to it.
Well, and on Friday, just so you know, you can see that there's a time. Thanks for holding it there, Caleb. They have a 1 p.m. They have an hour and a half window, which is also another small window, which would be great for something like weighted pull up, right? God, a weighted pull up event is so cool. It's gritty. It's old school.
Sevan would do well at that one.
I would do good at that. I wonder if I could do as much as like the worst person there. Who's going to be the worst at the weighted pull up? The biggest guy, Tim Paulson?
I think Pat would probably win it.
Fikowski? Who do you think is going to do the worst?
The worst.
Krennikov?
No. He's definitely not the worst.
Hey, how about Zoom?
That's a good pick. I hate to say it, but
Travis, you got a shitty weighted pull up is what he wants to say.
He doesn't remember this, but in 2018 at Granite Games, he fucking shat on me, so I don't mind saying it.
All right. He doesn't remember. Hey, he didn't even see you.
He saw me.
He wiped his ass with one of your T-shirts and just fucking threw it away. He didn't even see
I was
you.
in the lane next to him all weekend.
Kate Kuha Gee for the weakest weighted pull-up.
No, he doesn't have the weakest either. Not even close.
Any other guesses?
It'll be someone we're not even thinking of. Are we just thinking on the male side or are we thinking on the female side too?
Either.
I still kind of think that the heavy workouts that we get are going to be similar to shuttle to overhead. I think it's going to be heavy implements, but that you have to show that expression at a high heart rate. I don't think we're going to go out on the platform 1 rep max lift at all. I think that the Saturday night is still going to be some kind of rogue sandbag load ladder, like heavy ladder.
That would be cool.
Do you see the time domains for Saturday are what's the shortest time domain? This would be a great question for Ryan. What's the shortest time domain for a workout window in CrossFit Games history? Do we know by looking at the schedule? Has it ever been less than an hour?
Probably the run from last year.
And how long was that window for men and women? How long did they give?
See, I don't know that answer.
Yeah. Well, look at the workouts Friday. There's an hour and a half window in the morning, hour and a half in the middle of the day, and 2 hours at the end. These are tiny windows. All short time domains, right?
They can all go at once too.
Right. Because
they've done that before.
Right.
Well, we already know the one on Friday morning is not a short workout, so they're probably going in 2 heats. That's the capital workout.
Right. What is the time cap on that?
I really want to know, and it didn't say in the description, or not that
Okay.
I saw.
All right. I think we did a pretty good job of covering it all. We got to come on tomorrow morning. The big question, what was the big question we wanted to know about tomorrow's workout that we couldn't get the answer to?
Are the bars going to still be soaked?
Oh, yes. Thank you. The minimum work requirement. That is what we need to know. And someone knows. They had to have had the brief. Okay. Guys, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would like someone put in the comments. I would like a dumbbell squat snatch ladder would be pretty cool.
Tomorrow at 1:00, Taylor Howell becomes free, possibly. Taylor Howell. J.R. Howell becomes free, possibly. Tomorrow he's at a birthday party from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
That would be Saturday.
Oh, that's not Saturday. Oh, so you are free tomorrow. Perfect. Okay, great.
I'm in the car 2 to 8.
We will have 2 shows tomorrow, minimum. We'll have a show before the event to preview the event and talk about all the gossip. And then we will watch the event on the CrossFit Games YouTube channel, and then we will come back with closure. Thank you, everyone. I think today may have been the largest day in Sevan Podcast history for live views. It looks like it's going to climb over 100,000 or something crazy for the 6 podcasts. I know it's crazy, Hiller, right?
Yeah, wild. I'm jealous.
Thank you, J.R. Howell, Taylor, Hiller, Caleb, Matt Souza, and the guy who I shall not say his name.